from all cool, calm and collected to jumpy.
Coached by his father, Mike. He's the only coach that he's ever had. He'll be somewhere in the gallery or in the clubhouse watching. And the whole of Japan will be watching this man.
But look how this has nestled down. This is all fluffy, deep fluffy ground. The ball goes right to the bottom. And so it's so easy to get too much grass between the club and the ball, and it goes nowhere. Or you get it a bit sharp and it comes out and runs. I think he may be able to land this on the green and stop it, but difficult. Lap of the gods. Oh, he played a trundler, and it's trundled pretty well.
Kisner for birdie. Back on the birdie trail. That's more like it. That's what he's been doing all week. He's back to 6 under. He's been very tenacious.
Just tidying up here. Stroud. He and Kisner are the last match out. Oh, now you make your choice. Those that are in the clubhouse or get into the clubhouse at maybe 7 under, I would think are in with a very good shout, but it's so tight. Could end up with 2 or 3 people having to go and play off. Big moment here, Maureen, if he could roll this one in.
Yes, he's 1 shot ahead of Patrick Reed at the moment. Another couple, you've got Matsuyama and Kisner, both on 6 under.
Just consult Madam Petralengo. Oh, there she is, all right. I'm on track now.
Molinari's in the clubhouse on 6 under. This would just give him a little breathing space as he steps onto that 16th tee, which signifies the start of that dreaded green mile.
Which isn't a mile, but nobody cares, does
But
it?
it just seems like it. It's only half a mile, but it seems like a mile.
Well, they've taken so long over this. It'd be nice if they could hold it, because it would give you some faith in, you know, you never get nowhere by being too hasty. But he's given this a lot of thought. Oh, robbed. Oh, what a good effort that was.
That was a vicious swing just at the end, wasn't it?
Horrid. Very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. Oh, his reaction says it all.
So Justin Thomas with that 1-shot lead over Patrick Reed, who had those birdies on 14 and 15 to move up to 7 under par. Francesco Molinari, the clubhouse leader after that 67 today. And Ricky Fowler in the clubhouse on 5 under par, 67 today as well. And he has been speaking to Rishi.
Ricky, 4 under today, taking you to 5 under for the tournament. How pleased are you with that effort on a difficult day?
I'm happy with it. I think the goal today was to go out and be low man in the clubhouse when I got in. Ultimately, it would have been maybe a couple shots lower, but still fun to put together a good back 9 and make some good par saves coming in. And we'll wait and see and watch some of the boys finish out. There's some plenty of golf to be played, and looking forward to, you know, JT's out there in front right now. Looking forward to him playing well. I'm definitely not rooting against anyone, but like I said, there's a lot of golf to be played.
How do you sum up this week for you?
No, it was good, but I really felt like I had a good chance this week, and this would have been a good place to get my first major, where I got my first PGA Tour win. I was swinging well enough. Just had the last 3 holes kind of put me too far back yesterday. I really didn't make a bad swing on 17. I thought the ball was. I was asking for it to cover the bunker, and it comes up short in the water. And then to put a 3-putt before that on 16 and a 3-putt on 18. So that put me, like I said, a little too far back, but still fun to go out today and get off to a decent start, and then, like I said, play well on the back 9, at least come in and get clubhouse lead for a little bit.
Great effort this week, Ricky. Thank you very much for your time as always.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And Matsuyama for birdie. Has he got anything left in the tank? It was a good chip uphill. He has. Great 4. He moves to 7 under. So Thomas being hotly pursued now by both Matsuyama and Reed.
Well, there was no doubt about that one. There was no pussyfooting about. But he was slightly uphill and into the grain as we look at Patrick Reed with his long putt across the spine here on 17. Oh, and that's a terrific touch. A little perplexed that it just moved away the other way at the end. Now, what about this for a tram liner?
Pin's on 34, so this is at least 90 feet. I misread it by about 20. Caddy looked like he was pointing at the hole in case Louis hadn't seen it.
Well, that was earlier. This now is to save his par. Oh, and he drops a shot. It's a critical time to give one back to the course and to the field. Oosthuizen drops back to 5 under. 3 out of the lead now and running out of holes.
Thomas by 1 from Matsuyama and Reed. Molinari in at 6. Kisner still out there fighting. He's just birdied 14. He's at 6. Fowler's finished. Oosthuizen dropped 1 to slip back to 5. Well, you're going to have to be 7 under to win this. Absolute minimum. Now, Scott Brown.
Now, how brave is he going to be? The flag's in a little finger of green right up at the back left-hand portion. And that's pretty decent there. See how the fat of the green's very much in the middle.
Graham Dillette at 17. The grain and slope and that ridge upon which the hole is cut, all helping to swing that ball away. But a good hole to make 3 on today, giving up very, very few birdies.
Well, he had the most exciting runs of holes yesterday. He went birdie, eagle, eagle, birdie from 13 to 16 yesterday, and has been the groundswell of a very good week as we go to Gary Woodland. This needs a stout nerve. Got a good connection and a lovely check. That is a beautiful shot, very dexterous, very scary when you've got that creek running along at the back of the flag.
Second putt for Reed at 17. Oh yes, well done. So he stays 7. Still got a sniff. 7 birdies, 2 bogeys. That's pretty mean golf around this course.
16th tee, Matsuyama. This should suit his shot's shape. Left to right. Oh, he's overcooked it. There's a bunker up there. But I think he's even wide of that. Now that, at least it's come back towards the fairway, but it's not going to be too pretty.
Five, 520 yards, par 4. I think Thomas likes it. He can take it over that bunker. But it doesn't reach the fairway, but he'll be going in with so little that it won't be too tough a shot for him.
Kisner just giving that one everything here at 15 to get home in 2. Oh, but the Grand National winner there, it just hurdled the last part of the bunker.
Can Stroud do the same? So he's trying to bring it in from the right.
So it's still the 24-year-old Justin Thomas out in front. Patrick Reed has just sneaked right up that leaderboard, 7 under par, 1 back alongside Hideki Matsuyama. A little bit further down, Ricky Fowler in the clubhouse. We heard from him on 5 under par. And Matt Kuchar, what a great day for him. 3 under today. He is in the clubhouse on 1 under par. Another superb round as well from Jordan Smith. We heard from him. And Jason Day, that 8 yesterday on the 18th really hurt his chances of a second PGA championship. But he's finished today 1 under for the championship. What could have been for Jason Day. He's been speaking to Rishi.
Jason, it's been a very strange week. How do you sum up the events of the past 4 days?
I had 3 good days. Looking at it, you have 3 good days and obviously 1 bad day. But unfortunately, yesterday just didn't pan out for me. I missed a couple of opportunities. I think if I hold the putt on 5, I don't 3-putt 7, and I'm looking at a different story here. Obviously this is. You get that momentum going and that change. I mean, I missed a 4-footer on 5 for birdie, and then obviously 3-jacked the par 5, and that kind of unraveled things going forward. And then I had a horseshoe lip out on 10 for birdie, and it seemed like things were stacked against me, even though I was trying my hardest. And then what happened on 18? I was just explaining it earlier. I'm really good at hitting into the junk, and with hitting into the junk, I feel like I'm really good at hitting out of it too. So that can obviously be an Achilles heel with my game, because I feel like I can take on shots that a lot of people can't. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me yesterday trying to take that gamble, because I'm looking at it where Kiz is 8 under in the middle of the fairway, thinking he's got a good legitimate shot at making a birdie. I've got to get up around the green somewhere, try and get up and down for par, and that'll save me. If I can get at least to 4 or 5 shots behind, I get a good chance going into today's round. But hindsight is the best thing ever, because you can always go, why'd you do that? But unfortunately, it just works out that way.
Last thing, Jason, when we spoke at the Open, you talked about making the progression, working hard and seeing the benefits of it. Do you feel, despite what happened yesterday, that you're much further down that line? Yeah,
definitely. I definitely see a lot of good things. I mean, if I have at least just 1 or 1 under or 2 under in the 3rd round, I'm right there right now. So just piecing that together, getting the golf IQ back up to where it needs to be, and not taking on silly shots is key. Just making silly errors has been kind of the downfall for me this year. There's been a lot of great stuff mixed in with a lot of just silly little errors. So if I can really tidy that up, which I have, over the last few weeks, it's been actually quite solid. So been looking forward to trying to challenge these guys in the playoffs and hopefully winning a couple there.
Jason, as always, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well, Jason starting there, he sounded to me as if he was defending his decision on 18. Then he softened his approach a wee bit at the end, but he can hit shots that others can't. But it was a very expensive 8 for him.
Yes, golfing IQ, that's a good expression. Matsuyama chopping out the rough once again. Seems to have been up to his ankles in it all day. and most of the time he's been going over the green from it. So another tricky chip from out of the Bermuda for Matsuyama.
Justin Thomas, he's got a pretty good angle. He won't be aiming at the flag, I hope, but he squirted that one right. That was a very odd contact. I'm sure he was trying to play for the middle of the green there. It just didn't come out anything like he wanted. Nothing is straightforward at this stage of the game.
Yeah, certainly Thomas showing a lot of weakness. A couple of very, very iffy holes. And in trouble here at 16. This is the green mile. Today it adds up to 1,240 yards, so more like a kilometre. Third toughest hole, 16. Fifth toughest, 17. And the toughest hole on the course, the 18th creek, all the way up to the left. The Jason Day's bushes up the right, trees, rough, elevated green. Back to Kisner at 15.
Now down in 2 for a birdie. It's, I think, a little more realistic than saying this is an eagle putt. It's tiptoeing along the ridge, doing its best. Oh, you know, his putting has been outstanding. His green reading has been outstanding. And I don't want this to be the kiss of death, but the only player in the field yet to 3-putt.
Final hole for Patrick Reed. Wants it to draw left onto the fairway. Oh, it just wouldn't quite do it.
Well, it seems a long time ago since we watched Justin Thomas making his way down the first. He had bunker trouble there. Drove into a bunker, then into one bunker at the green, then another bunker at the green, and eventually holed a great 20-footer for a 5. So he's given himself another bunker problem here. It's one of those nasty lengths. It's about 30 yards.
Putting a lot of pressure on himself, isn't he? I mean, the last 2 holes were weak, got pars, but here this is a difficult up and down, isn't it?
It certainly is, and he's seen Matsuyama go over the back. He doesn't want to do the same thing because it's no picnic coming back. Well, that was very well played. It sounded as if he got a little bit close to the ball, but that gave him the distance. I'm sure he won't take that one back.
Yes, right now he looks more comfortable with the putter in his hands than anything else.
Reed did indeed find the bunker off the 18th. Well, it was a good line, but he's going to have to rely on a very good chip and putt to get up and down for his 4 and stay at 7 under.
You can see this Bermuda is very fine and the ball just tends to nestle down in it. This isn't too bad. The grass is still a factor. It's going to get trapped between the club and the ball, and there's always an element of doubt as to just how quickly the ball will come off the club. It's an uphill lie, so the ball's going to hurtle up in the air, so he'll be trying to pitch this only 4 to 8 feet short of the cup. Not bad.
Kisner. Oh yes, just one back now. We've got Thomas on 8 under, Hideki Matsuyama on 7, Kisner on 7, Patrick Reed on 7 under.
This is where it comes down to what you've got in your stomach. They're all playing now just to win. Nothing about having a good week or coming second. These guys are in it to win. It's 2 or 3 holes. Got to keep your nerve. Concentrate, control everything you're doing. Don't rush a single shot.
Yes, the bits that matter now, Mark, are not the bits you can practice. You can't practice this on the range at home. You've just got to grind it out and go through this, and that's what we were saying earlier. Thomas was in the final group in that US Open, and he will have learned from that experience. He crumbled to a 75 that day. Kisner had squandered a 3-shot lead on the back 9 of the Arnold Palmer Invitational as well, so he's been through it. I mean, these are priceless experiences.
Yes, indeed. It's you go on the putting green when you're a kid and imagine 6-footers for the Open, but we get into the real thing and it's different. Oh, that was nerveless from Thomas. Brilliantly done. What an up and down. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, as you said, he looks so comfortable with the putter in his hand. That could well have been key. Keeps his nose in front.
2 pars could well do it for him. So hard to squeeze a birdie out of the last 2 for Matsuyama and Kisner. Reed looking unlikely to birdie 18.
Now Matsuyama has got to make this if he wants to keep the hopes alive of a whole nation. This has to go in.
He's got the line pointing around the left edge, or just inside.
Usually bounces the putter to get the tension out of his hands.
Boy, we've seen some horseshoes, Maureen.
I think these are what we used to call tournament holes. They're only 4 inches, not 4 1/4.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't the worst. We've seen a few, I heard someone call them Elvises the other day, return to sender, where it just goes right round.
That's brutal.
It's like they sort of coated the holes with Teflon or something. So Matsuyama back to 6. Reed in trouble. Here he is.
Trying to chase. Odd choice of shot there. Very lofted club. I felt he might have needed something that would have chased it out or played that back in his stance a little bit and knocked it forward to run out.
Yeah, he hit it quite high, didn't he? Interesting. Certainly not the result he was after. Oh, I wish I'd done something else.
Now Kisner, the man who refuses to go away. Well, he's done the first bit. He's found the fairway.
See where his ball is in relation to the bunker. Thomas flew it over that bunker by about 15 yards. The difference in distance between Thomas and Kisner is remarkable. But there's only 1 shot separating them.
It's all about controlling the ball flight, isn't it? You can only control your own. At this point, it's a real battle for the players with themselves. They've enough to worry about with their own games, never mind worrying quite at the moment what their opponents are doing.
Yeah, some players look at leaderboards, some don't. can't help thinking if you don't look at leaderboards, you're scared. And if you're looking at them, you're relishing the fight.
If you look at them, you're terrified. If you don't, you're just scared.
No, you relish the fight. No.
Yes, exactly.
Big shot for Thomas. He's hit a few dodgy ones the last 3 holes.
Reed on its way. Final putt. No, it's not. Oh, it's going to be a final bogey for Patrick Reed. That's going to drop him to 6 under. A little bit more breathing space potentially for this man.
This is the one danger shot. Last is tight, but it looks pretty good. Has he got the distance? Oh, he's drawn it in. It's moving towards the hole. An absolute beauty from Justin Thomas. He steadied the ship, held his nerve. He has got what it takes, maybe.
That was a class shot. Everything on the line there. Out comes his favourite club now.
His caddy's sweating a bit. Not surprised, it's very hot, very humid, and the sun's popping out now and again.
Back up to 18. This for a 67 for Reed. And a final total of 6 under. Joining Francesco Molinari, who's already in the clubhouse on 6 under. Now Hideki has to throw the conservative game plan out of the window if he wants to win this major. Well, it's a much more difficult pin for him to get at with his left to right ball flight. Advantage Thomas, you'd have to say.
Yeah, plus Matsuyama's pretty much hit it sideways for 2 days. I mean, that wasn't too bad a shot. It must be very difficult for him to keep it going.
Well, Paul Casey started the major season with a 5th place finish at Augusta in April, and he's had a pretty consistent season, and it was consistently good over the first 2 rounds here with a 69 and 70, but 3 over yesterday meant he went into the final day level par. 3 birdies and 3 bogeys today, and level par is where he'd finished the championship. A little earlier on, he spoke to Rishi.
How much of your play this week were you proud of with regards to grinding it out in those conditions?
Yeah, it was good, and I feel I'm always good on that front. You know, this has probably been the course or the major that's been right on the edge out of all of them, which is rare for this one. Usually a bit more benign, as I said earlier in the week. I mean, if people are still watching, holes like 17 are going to be pivotal today. I mean, pin positions there, we have no clue how you even get it close there. 3's a wonderful score. So, you know, happy with the way I grounded out. But it's a golf course that, you know, highlighted ball striking, and you had to be on top of it, and I wasn't.
I was just going to ask about the finishing holes. Obviously, you mentioned 17. What about 16 and 18 for the guys coming down the stretch? You
know, 16 is pretty generous off the tee, and it's a big old green. You shouldn't really get into too much trouble. It's that bunker on the right that can, if you do go in there, it could lead to a poor lie, be difficult to get to the green. 17 is obvious. 18, difficult tee shot, hazards both sides of the fairway. And then that pin that's tucked way back on the left, and you know, I almost dumped it in the hazard over the green from the middle of the fairway. So it's very, very difficult hole 18. You know, it's a tough stretch. I mean, pars you're picking up strokes on the field, not just maybe half a shot, probably a full shot on the field. If a guy picks up, you know, makes a birdie on one of those, I mean, he's just going to leapfrog guys. So you know, they're you say this every week, but those really are the pivotal holes this week.
Paul, as always, thank you very much for your time all week.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, here they are out in the cauldron of competition. This is what all the hours of practice are for, all those hours in the gym. Just to have a shot at winning one of these majors. Kisner into 16.
He's going in with so much club, a sort of a low draw off the tee, just making it a bigger dogleg and just unable to go near the pin, hitting something like a 3 or 4 iron by the looks of things. So much disadvantage. And that will be a difficult 2-putt. We saw Louis Oosthuizen from there misread it by 15 feet.
Just 3 matches left on the course now. Graham Dillette finished with 69 for a total of 4 under. He was playing with Patrick Reed. And Hideki is going to prowl around this putt. Got to come along that spine, which isn't going to make his life very simple.
Great tension now as we come to the end of this year's championship, or do we? Is there going to be another twist? There's still danger lurking. Remember, Jason Day taking 8 at the last hole yesterday when in full flow. Things can happen, stupid things. Matsuyama. Who's missed a couple of short putts. Not driven all that well. Long putt up the hill. All sorts of ridges and burrows. It's doing very well. Beautifully done for a 2-putt. Great sheer rings out. Something must have happened somewhere. That's a 3. Par for Matsuyama. Did you see the back 9? 3 rather clumsy bogeys. Cost him dear.
After that absolutely stunning tee shot, this would give him a bit of breathing space. The 18th's a tough old hole. For a 2. And he must have done it, he has. Absolutely fantastic. 9 under par. Needed it, and he got it.
I think he knows he's almost there, but he's still got a hole to go. The look on his face, the way he threw the ball up and snatched it down as if to say, yes. This is where the nerves take over. The calmness, the golfing brain clicks in. Do I play it for a 5?
Here's a look at the tee shot, and this was as good a shot as you're ever going to see. It's a dangerous pin. You heard what Casey had to say about it. Drew it into the flag. A lot of players have played to the right of it, using the contour. Water only 5 yards left of the pin, under the cup. He left himself one of the slightly easier putts. This had to be kept the speed up, otherwise it's going to dive to the left, and it just had enough pace to hold its line. Oh. What a couple of hours play it's been. Here's another look at it. Watch the crowd. See how close the water is. And, oh, superb. And he may well look back at the 10th where his ball pinged about in the trees and then his putt hung on the lip for, well, 5 or 6 seconds before it toppled in. Well, all the cards are in his hand now.
Absolutely, yeah. Oosthuizen had a chance, but he's been a bit sloppy, couple of holes. Well, there's been 3 or 4 of them. Everyone can say that. I should have done this. That's not bad, though. This isn't too shabby. Dear old Louis. Suddenly the whole arena has come to life. It was being a pretty dull affair up until about, well, certainly 2 hours ago when you came on the air. Before that it was very dull. And now people have started holding putts and it's getting great.
Well, the key to making a par on this hole, first of all, is to find the fairway. Little river down the left, bunker on the right. Doesn't have to hit it with all his might. That's how he plays. He's looking anxious.
Well, I don't know whether that pitched in the far end of the bunker. Not sure whether he's pointing at it. Yeah, it's in there. I don't know why he did that. Well, if it doesn't work out, we can all say where he went wrong.
He's got up against the lip as well. He'll do well to reach the green from there. Nearly carried the bunker, pitched right in the face. Well, he's got everyone in check, but it's not checkmate yet.
And you say, what would Bilko do? What would Jack Nicklaus do? Greatest finisher of all time. This fella's not doing too bad. He's hanging on very well indeed, Kistner. But what about this for a putt? Usain Bolt could get up a bit of speed over that distance, but oh, look at it go over there. So difficult to read, Ken, aren't they? I don't know why. It's slow slopes hidden. What is it?
Yeah, no, I think you can see the slopes. They're just quite bold slopes, plus the speed of the greens. Matsuyama.
He's looked pretty disgusted at almost every shot he's hit on this inward 9. But, oh, it's in trouble, I think.
I think that could be in the stream.
Could be in the little watery grave down there. Oh, how about this one then? How about this little tasty chip? My dear old friend Dave Thomas, who was a wonderful, he would have had nightmares about this forevermore. Grayson Murray, come on, show us what you're made of. Show us the shot that made you famous, and he has. God damn it, he has. Would you believe that's the shot of the week? No doubt about it. Grayson. Grayson Murray, the old theatrical, the old Shakespearean actor. I don't know what all those buildings are, Ken. I'm sure they're nothing to do with the golf course. They may well be, of course, but it's a wonderful setting.
Oh, I think that's all hospitality. It's all part of the gravy train.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
The birds are having a good time as well. Well, after that fantastic pitch, he's potted it. Well done. Oh, for a 75, what a grandstand finish for a 75.
Louis rounding 70 to finish at 6 under, birding the last. Only a 4th player to manage that. Kisner 7 under. He really needs to make this. He's still got 17 to play. It's 2 behind, and now he's 3 behind. So Justin Thomas 9 under, then a big group of players at 6 under, so he's in super shape, just doesn't need to do anything stupid. But he will not know that Kisner's dropped a stroke.
And the great cheer that must have rang out when Murray pitched over the little stream at the last made, wait, has somebody done something? Somebody hold out for a 3. What's going on? So just make sure you don't take more than 5.
The hazard line runs quite a long way away from the actual water hazard, so you may get lucky. Stream not that wide. Matsuyama 6 under, even if he birdies, he gets to 7.
Looks like he's in the water, Ken, or as good as damn it.
Still striding up. See in a second.
There we are, there. Oh. In the water. Pitched there and went backwards. Oh, that's...
The lateral hazard, so he can drop 2 clubs length either side, but that's not going to be any good to him anymore, because that's his chance of winning over. Look at the people.
That's huge, isn't it? Very impressive.
This lad started the year with a couple of victories, including a round of 59 at the Sony Open. He shot 59 there, and 63 at the US Open. He's a real talent.
But he's relatively new into the world of at this level, isn't he? I mean, I don't know whether he's been playing on the college games or the second rig, you know, the Ben Hogan Tour or whatever. But he's certainly burst into the big time in a big way.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely fantastic. He hit a couple of wood shots into Erin Hills, the US Open, of the likes no one's ever seen before. So powerful. He's too near the lip to have a shy, so his option of going for the green is eradicated, so that probably makes it a little easier for him, although he won't think so.
There's nothing really to think about. He wants nothing more than an 8 or even a 9 iron and just hit it 120 yards up the fairway.
He's been reasonably aggressive, Peter.
I know, it looks as if he's got that looked like a 7 iron if it is and it's up. It's a huge risk. No need, you see. All sorts of things can happen. You can put it in the water on the left and fiddle about.
And that rough over there is particularly deep. You can see the ball dive in. It's a little bit longer than some of the areas on the golf course.
Just unnecessary.
But he doesn't know Kisner's dropped a stroke.
No.
He thinks Kisner might be able to finish
but
with a
it's
couple
still
of
no
birds.
excuse for doing at this level now in modern day golf. You've got to think clearer than that. Well, it's been a good 4 days, really, on balance. I'm sorry not more of the European players did better. There were a lot of them. A lot of our best people were away early before the weekend. This is the third shot. Now Matsuyama had to pick it out of the water. He's had to drop it there, but standing well below the ball, which just adds to your concerns.
He probably will be greedy, but it's a dangerous shot to be greedy with. Pin back left, tucked near the water, water over the back.
That was a better swing and balance and pose. And there it is. A fizzer. Very unlucky just to go off the back, but not bad. Better than not bad.
He's worried it's gone over the back and got in the water. Kisner at 6 under needs a little magic.
Get in the hole!
And that's a perler. If it's got the right distance, this is really good. Should turn towards the cup a little. That's a super shot. Just hits the ball in flatter, doesn't he? Doesn't get the grip of the power hitters. Comes in a bit lower.
He's a nice player, though, Ken. I mean, the world's full of nice players now, but how many of them are going to end up being great players, I don't know.
This is not all over yet, Peter.
No, it certainly isn't.
He's going to have a real inspection of the wicket, just how brave he's going to dare to be. He needs to make a 5. He's sitting right down. There's not far to go. There's a nice reception as he walks onto the green to see where he's going to land the ball.
I mean, he really is in the driving seat here with the lead he's got. But you just don't have to be. There's no need to be a hero now. You just get the job done.
Well, what he's got to be careful of is coming out of the rough, dragging it a little left, you get dragged into the water, or trying to get it right up to the flag and going over the back of the green. He just needs to find the putting surface. A little ridge you can see, that's about 6 yards before the cup, and you're tempted to get it up there, and in doing that you can just hit it a little too far, particularly coming out the rough. Jimmy Johnson, who's been around a long while, used to caddy for Nick Price, his caddy.
It's nice to see some of the older caddies. I mean, he must be getting on for 60, I suppose.
I would
Maybe he's
say,
a bit more, but they were such an integral part of the game. The new caddies are so wonderful, really. They come from all around the world. Doctors, lawyers, whatever, they've all been to university. Here we go. This is it now.
Keep right of it, not too long.
Nice easy swing. And a very nice result. Safe. Cushy. Kushti. My old mate used to call it Kushti. Brian Crutcher, the great speedway boy. Kushti, Kushti.
That was very smartly played, wasn't
it? Sensible. Look at the crowd, it's fantastic. This has been a great championship. Gone are the days of it being the Cinderella. Look at that, that's fabulous.
To the 18th green from Japan, Hideki Matsuyama.
Not Japan's day yet.
From Texas, Justin Thomas.
No male golfer from Japan has won a major championship. Hideki's been second once before. It looks like he's going to finish second again, perhaps.
No, the women have dominated it, but the men so far haven't got into the arena of one of the majors.
One of the great lady golfers, Aimi Azato, is retiring from the game.
Really?
She won major championships in the ladies, and she's retiring, I think, after the Evian Championship, which is a couple of weeks away. Always one of my favourites.
They've had some wonderful players. Soren stuff. They've had some. The women have been very lucky. They've been great, and the men have too. You know, when you look down the list of who's won this championship, which was started by the Professional Golfers Association, the early 1900s, I suppose, and it's grown in stature over the last 20 years. It was sinking down a bit, and people were talking about, let's have another major, let's make a fifth, or let's have the Canadian Open in, or something. And I'm glad that's sort of gone away a bit at the moment.
Matsuyama, this very tricky little shot. A lot of players might blade it, which is hitting the centre of the ball with a flange. Oh, there's Ricky Fowler with his girlfriend. Be pleased to see his great mate Justin Thomas win, but it's not there yet. Oh, Ricky. I can see Jordan Spieth. Is he behind him, Jordan? Yeah. He's got this hat on the back to front with a blue shirt on.
Mixing with the hoi polloi.
There's a close-knit community, and they like to see their buddies doing well. Good find by the cameraman. Well, back to the business. He's still got to roll this to the hole side.
Looks a square grip on that putter, Ken.
Yeah. One of those modern, slightly thicker grips. Well, this to remain at 6 under, Peter, and tied for second.
I think he's going to loft it.
Tricky. Fluffed it.
Oh, just wanted a bit more fluff. Oh, he's making a right cod's ear of this. Or is it a pig's ear? I never know what it is, but making a mess of it.
Now he's got it on the back level. It's pretty slick from this side, but it's manageable.
I don't think he's got anything to worry about now, unless has to be more than a minor miracle. That's getting very nicely to the hole side. Sweetly done.
Our computer says Kisner has made a 3 at the 17th, so he remains at 6 under. He didn't hold that long putt. So the best he's likely to finish is, if he birdies his last, is 7 under.
So the computer's helping you, Ken.
Little one down the slope. And well done. A disappointing way to finish for Matsuyama. 5 bogeys on his back nine. Round in 72. An up and down day. Missed a couple of shorties, didn't he?
Yes, unfortunately. And then that I fancy will be the winning putt. And how well he's played. There's still a couple out on the course, but I don't think they can alter the fact that Justin has won this year's PGA Championship. You just have to wait for the final pair to come up.
Is his dad?
Is his father? What a year he's had. Father Mike, Mother Janine. A great combination, great family. Love their golf. Going to be rather an emotional scene here now. Well done, son. Well done indeed.
Round in 68. I think it's checkmate. This card sorted out. Here's Ricky.
Ricky Fowler, Spieth, stripped down to their civvies.
Plane revved up. Wins the famous Wanamaker Trophy. Here's a look at his card. Number 10 was the winner, wasn't it? When he
Absolutely.
actually easily. It could have gone anywhere. Came back on the fairway, then he
got a birdie.
And that's someone that sat on the edge of the cup and counted to a 15 before it just dropped it.
Back to the Serenity, the 17th. Kisno started. Oh, I know. Come round. Come. It is. Oh, it's not going to make it. It got exciting there for about 4 feet.
It's a lifetime dream, isn't it? We all dreamt of it when we were growing up, Peter. Perhaps have a chance to win a major.
One of the big ones.
One of the big ones. Just stands you above the crowd.
He holds his little putt there, Kisner. Now he's on. It's virtually all over now, but still big prize money to play for. Kisner wants to get a 4 at worst up this final hole. And a good start.
6 under. If he holds his second shot, he gets to 8 under. It's a 1 in 100 million, but you never know. Here's the winning putt again. Yes. Little hug. Very, very well done.
And a number of players came alive over the last 12 holes. No one more so than Francesco Molinari. Just dropped a shot in the last 3. If he'd got 1 or maybe 2 less, would have set a very, very good target. Well done, Molinari. That's the spot they go to, sit at the table, check and sign and double check that everything's okay.
Sometimes bring a caddy in or someone just to check when they're going through to make sure that they've made no silly mistakes. Here's someone to give him a hand.
Stroud and Kisner. This is Stroud. Second shot. Let it be a good one. Oh, it's away.
Cat box a better result than finishing in the long scruffy rough. At least you can get a bit of consistent grip on it. Well, then there was one, Peter. Uphill shot. He's got to chase it up the tier. He's got to be thinking just one thing. Is it in the river?
Put it in the water. Oh, in the water. There it goes, in a babbling brook by a shady nook. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's it, folks. Congratulations, congratulations. You've done it. Nobody can catch you now. Please. And there's some interesting stuff.
Doing all the interviews.
I don't know what we're looking at here. It looks like a start of an interview.
He's just telling him the order of what he's going to do interview such that
is
before
that
the
what it
Friday.
is?
He's just informing of the.
It's nice to see a smile. I think he's a bit overwhelmed at the moment with the magnitude. Hello, it's the President of the United States. Is that you, Donald? I think the Americans have wonderful names for their clubs. We don't have it in the UK, do we? Quail Hollow. I mean, ours are all sort of, Parkstone, Watchet, Minehead. We don't have many romantic names.
No, they do have some good ones.
Bridlington, Municip, whatever. They're all like the Australian wine and New Zealand wine. They think up the most wonderfully exotic names.
Kisner's taken the penalty drop. He's where it last crossed the margin. They had 2 clubs length and he dropped it. And the ball just rolled back.
Hasn't done very well.
No, that's why he needs to practice his dropping.
That's done poorly. Oh, here we go. I don't know what's going to happen here. Yeah, what a fluffer. This is very much an anticlimax. Every shot now is costing him about 100,000. It's just not a happy thought. But there's the winner. Justin Thomas. How well he's played. Really all 4 days. I wonder what the future holds for him, Ken. He's had a sensational 2017.
He's a fantastic player. He only weighs 145 pounds, and he, as we've seen, he can knock it out there 320 yards, no problem at all. Very aggressive.
He must weigh more than that.
No, that's all he weighs. Lithe power.
That's only about 10.5 stone.
Yeah.
One of my legs weighs 10.5 stone. Come on now, finish in a blaze of glory. Let's be having you. Good speed. Oh, a good effort.
Disappointing back 9 holes. Out in 34, right in amongst it, tied for the lead and back in 40. Sorry, 42.
Yeah, 76. That's for a bogey 5. Looks good. No, as so many have done. Just missed out. Kisner out in 36. They had 3 birdies, 3 bogeys on the back 9.
God, this is costing him some money, Peter.
Oh, I shudder to think. I shudder to think how much this 18th hole has cost them both. Well, that's all over. You've had your good moments, not great moments. 74 after 2 67s.